The New Year's party is for people who've actually achieved something this year. My sister Amanda's voice dripped with condescension through the phone. Mom and Dad agree it's best if you skip it. We don't want you feeling uncomfortable. I gripped my coffee mug tighter, staring out the window of my modest apartment. At 32, I was the family disappointment, or so they thought. My name is Olivia Chin, and my family had no idea that I was the anonymous angel investor they'd been desperately trying to meet for the past 3 months. Uncomfortable? I kept my voice neutral, years of practice hiding my emotions. Well, Amanda continued, everyone's celebrating their successes. Dad's expansion project, Mom's new charity foundation, my luxury spa chain. And you're still just managing buildings. But she only knew those buildings were actually a vast portfolio of prime commercial properties I'd quietly acquired over the past decade. My family thought I was a simple property manager, too focused on work to live life, as they put it. I see, I replied calmly. And this decision is final. Don't be dramatic, Olivia. Focus on building something meaningful like the rest of us. Then maybe next year, you'll have something to celebrate too. After hanging up, I opened my laptop and clicked on a folder labeled Project Phoenix. Inside were all the details of my family's dream project, a luxury residential complex they'd been planning for years. The same project that had mysteriously received backing from an anonymous investor 3 months ago. The investor they'd never met. Me. My father had been ecstatic when the funding came through, telling everyone how his reputation had attracted serious investors. My mother bragged at her charity events about the family's business acumen. Amanda had already started designing the spa she planned to open in the complex. None of them knew I was behind it all. I'd worked silently for years, turning my property management skills into an empire. While they dismissed my career choices, I was building something extraordinary. Every time they excluded me from family events or belittled my achievements, I invested more, worked harder, grew stronger. My phone buzzed with a text from my mother. Darling, about New Year's. You understand, right? We need to maintain a certain image. Your sister's investors will be there. I smiled at the irony. The biggest investor in their lives was the daughter they were too embarrassed to have at their party. Opening my email, I began composing a message to my lawyer. It was time to reveal the truth about Project Phoenix's mysterious investor. But first, I had another call to make. Ms. Chen, my assistant answered promptly. The documents you requested are ready. Thank you, Sarah. Please proceed with Plan B for Project Phoenix. Are you sure? Once we initiate this. They made their choice, I replied, my voice firm. They want to celebrate without me. Let's give them something to remember. I spent the rest of the afternoon reviewing contracts and making calls. By evening, everything was in place. My family had no idea that their perfect New Year's party was about to become unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Just then, Amanda sent a group text to the family. Everything's set for the party. Dad's announcing the Project Phoenix timeline. Mom's revealing her foundation's first major project, and I'm launching my spa brand. This will be the best New Year's ever. I leaned back in my chair, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. The same sky visible from the penthouse office where my father liked to hold his meetings, showing off his view of the city. The same view he'd soon lose when Project Phoenix fell apart. My phone buzzed again. An email confirmation from my lawyer. Everything was ready. In exactly 1 week, at their precious New Year's party, they would learn exactly who they'd excluded from their celebration. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about causing pain. It's about opening eyes. And my family's eyes were about to be opened wide. I closed my laptop and smiled. Let them have their exclusive party. I had a different kind of celebration in mind. The week leading up to New Year's Eve was filled with endless social media posts from my family. Amanda couldn't stop sharing sneak peeks of her spa designs for Project Phoenix. My mother posted daily about the guest list, making sure everyone knew about the exclusive attendees. Dad gave interviews to local business magazines, hinting at the project's revolutionary impact on the city. I watched it all unfold from my office, 40 stories above the city they thought I merely managed. Sarah, my assistant, placed a folder on my desk. The final reports are in, she said. Should I proceed with the announcements? I nodded, scanning the documents. Schedule everything for 11:45 p.m. on New Year's Eve, 15 minutes before their big midnight revelations. Your father's secretary called again, Sarah added. The mysterious investor's absence is making him nervous. He wants confirmation for the party. Tell them the investor sends their regrets but will make their position clear at exactly 11:45. That evening, I received an unexpected visit from my Uncle James, my father's younger brother, and the only family member who'd ever supported me. "They're being foolish, Olivia," he said, settling into the chair across from my desk. "Your father's letting pride cloud his judgment, as usual." "Did they send you to check on me?" I asked, offering him coffee. He laughed. "They don't know I'm here, but I've watched you build all this while they weren't looking." He gestured around my office. "They never questioned how you could afford to live in a city on a property manager's salary, did they?" "They never questioned anything about my life, Uncle James. That was the problem." He studied me carefully. "You're Project Phoenix's investor, aren't you?" I didn't answer, but my slight smile told him everything. "Good," he said, standing up. "Maybe this will finally open their eyes. Just don't be too hard on them. Pride makes people blind, but family is still family." As he left, I thought about his words. Family, was that what we were? A group of people who shared DNA but couldn't share a holiday together because some members weren't successful enough. The next few days passed in a blur of preparations. My family's social media excitement reached fever pitch. Amanda posted photos of her outfit for the party, tagging luxury brands and adding hashtags about success and excellence. Mom shared pictures of the venue decorations, each post a careful reminder of the event's exclusivity. Then, on New Year's Eve morning, I received a video call from my father. "Olivia," he said, his voice stern. "Your mother tells me you've been difficult about the party situation." "Difficult?" I kept my voice level. "By accepting your decision." "Don't be smart. You know what I mean. This attitude, this is exactly why we made the right choice. Success requires a certain mindset." I looked at him through the screen, this man who thought he knew everything about success, but knew nothing about his own daughter. "You're right, Dad. Success does require a certain mindset. And at 11:45 tonight, you'll learn exactly what that mindset looks like." "What's that supposed to mean?" His brow furrowed. "Enjoy your party, Dad. I'm sure it will be unforgettable." I ended the call and turned to Sarah, who'd been waiting with another stack of documents. "Everything's in place," she confirmed. "The press releases are ready, the legal team is standing by, and the documents will be delivered to the party exactly at 11:45. I picked up my coat, heading for the door. "I'll be at the Summit." The Summit was my latest acquisition, a rooftop restaurant overlooking the venue where my family's party would be held. From there, I could watch everything unfold while enjoying a quiet dinner alone. As night fell over the city, I watched the guests arrive at my family's party through the restaurant's panoramic windows. Women in designer gowns, men in expensive suits, all there to celebrate success with a family that thought they had it all figured out. Sarah texted updates throughout the evening. 11:30 p.m. Your father's preparing for his announcement. 11:35 p.m. Amanda's gathering everyone for the spa brand launch. 11:40 p.m. Your mother's foundation presentation is ready. At 11:43, I stood by the window, champagne in hand. 2 minutes until their perfect world shifted. 11:44, I watched the messenger enter the venue. 11:45, my phone lit up with notifications as everything went live simultaneously. The press releases, the legal documents, the ownership revelations, all carefully crafted to expose the truth about Project Phoenix's mysterious investor. Through the window, I could see the commotion beginning. Phones were buzzing, people were whispering, and in the center of it all, I could just make out my family's faces as they read the documents that had just been delivered. I raised my glass to the chaos unfolding below. "Happy New Year," I whispered, though the year still had 15 minutes to go. My phone started ringing, first Amanda, then Mom, finally Dad. I let them all go to voicemail. They'd had months to talk to me, years to see me. Now they could wait. The truth about Project Phoenix was just the beginning. They wanted success. I was about to show them what real success looked like. The documents delivered to the party revealed more than just my identity as Project Phoenix's investor. They announced my immediate withdrawal from the project, along with the acquisition of the prime real estate they'd planned to build on. The land would now house a community arts center and affordable housing complex. Projects my family had always dismissed as unprofitable wastes of time. My phone hadn't stopped ringing since 11:45, As midnight approached, I watched the party descend into chaos through the summit's windows. Guests were leaving early, investors were making hurried phone calls, and my family stood in the center of it all, their perfect celebration crumbling around them. At exactly midnight, while the city erupted in fireworks, my father finally sent a text. "We need to talk. Now." I replied with an address, the summit, and waited. 20 minutes later, they burst into the restaurant, Dad, Mom, and Amanda, still in their party clothes, but considerably less composed than their social media posts would suggest. "How could you do this to us?" Amanda's voice shook with rage. "Do you know how many investors were at that party? How embarrassing this is." "Embarrassing?" I set down my champagne glass. "Like being told you're not successful enough to attend a family celebration." "This is different." Mom stepped forward. "We were protecting you from feeling out of place among successful people. We didn't deliberately sabotage you." I laughed, the sound echoing through the empty restaurant. "Protecting me? Let me show you something." I led them to the window, pointing at the city below. "See that building? I own it. That hotel on the corner, mine too. The commercial complex your friends were bragging about investing in. I bought it last year." Their faces reflected in the window showed mounting shock as I continued pointing out my properties across the skyline. "While you were busy deciding I wasn't successful enough for your party, I was building an empire, one that makes Project Phoenix look like a small-time investment." Dad, who had been unusually quiet, finally spoke. "Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? When have you ever believed in anything I've done?" The silence that followed was deafening. "The community center," Mom finally said, "you're really going to waste that prime real estate on charity." "That's exactly why I never told you." I turned to face them. "Everything is about status and profit for you. You never understood that success isn't just about money." "But your sister's spa," Mom began. "We'll find another location." I cut her off. "One not built on the dreams you crushed by excluding your own daughter from a family celebration." Amanda sank into a chair, her perfect facade cracking. "All these years, while we thought you were just managing buildings, I was buying them." I finished for her. "Every time you belittled my career, dismissed my choices, or excluded me from family events, I channeled that hurt into building something meaningful." Dad stepped forward, his business mask finally falling away. "Olivia, I was wrong. We were all wrong." "Yes, you were," I agreed. "But this isn't about revenge. The community center will help people who remind me of who I was. Someone with potential that others couldn't see. The affordable housing will give opportunities to those who need them. That's real success." "What can we do?" Mom asked quietly. "How do we fix this?" I picked up my coat, ready to leave. "Start by understanding that success isn't measured by party guest lists or social media posts. It's measured by the impact you have on others' lives." As I walked toward the door, Amanda called out, "Will we see you next New Year's?" I turned back one last time. "That depends. Will it be a party for successful people only?" The shame on their faces gave me hope that maybe, just maybe, they finally learned something. Over the next few months, my family slowly began to change. Dad started mentoring young entrepreneurs, focusing less on their backgrounds and more on their potential. Mom redirected her foundation's efforts toward meaningful community projects rather than social status. Even Amanda surprised me by offering free spa services to cancer patients and their caregivers. Uncle James was right. Pride had made them blind, but family was still family. It took losing their dream project to realize that their daughter's success story had been right in front of them all along. As for me, I moved forward with my plans, but left the door open for my family to be part of them. Not as business partners, but as people learning to measure success by a different standard. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's showing others a better way forward. And as I watched my community center break ground on New Year's Day, I knew I'd done exactly that. Success, I'd learned, wasn't about being invited to the right parties. It was about creating something meaningful, even when others couldn't see your vision. And sometimes it took losing everything to help others find that truth.